Thank you guys. You joined us for yet another episode of Raising the Grade podcast sponsored by Rising Tide Landscapes. Today I'm here with Antonio of Mirage Porcelain, a division of Belgard. I hope I nailed that.
We're partners. So yeah, we have a very strong partnership across the United States and Canada.
Perfect. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Busy schedule, like just flew in, taught a class, came out here. I'm super grateful.
Well, actually, Eric, it's the other way around. We appreciate immensely, you taking the time of inviting us, putting this together. I'm a big fan when the industry, people from the industry, do things to push the envelope forward. Trying to grow together, try to elevate the business, the industry, the understanding. It's good. So when you invited me, even though I'm not the biggest fan of being in front of a camera or behind a microphone,
You're going to be fine.
I appreciate immensely the invitation, and I wouldn't miss it for anything. So
Man.
I'm glad we were able to make it work, and we're here. So thank you.
You're too kind, honestly, man. I really appreciate you. And it's so fun because you just got right into kind of the collaborative nature, and I want to explore that in just a little bit. I definitely want to ask you a little bit about you because I have a little bit of fun, and most of my podcasts, I don't know the guests. Like, I don't know you. Where are you from? How long have you been doing what you're doing? What got you to where you're at today? Give me a little elevator speech of Antonio.
Not
Don't
good
have
at
to get
elevator
crazy.
speech.
Okay,
But I'll try my best.
do what you can.
All right. Well, born and raised in Central America,
Okay.
Nicaragua, grew up between Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Costa Rica. So that's the reason why my accent is a little bit of a mixture of different places.
Okay.
Moved to the United States, to California more specifically, right out of college. I was 21, had just graduated for IT. So I was in the IT world. Somewhere along the line, I didn't feel the love for that anymore. Ended up working at a building material business.
In Cali
it's
still?
in California, yeah.
Okay.
Thompson Building Materials in Fontana. 33-acre store, 180 trucks, 200 and something employees, a massive business, and was there for 8 years.
What kind of stuff did you do there?
Everything from watering plants and cleaning fountains all the way to when I left, I was assistant general manager. So great opportunity. I got to witness closely a person that I admire a lot. I mean, he's no longer with us, Mr. Kenny Thompson.
I'm sorry.
Incredible businessman, incredible person. The guy that the handshake meant a lot. The kind of person that a signature in the paper was good, but his handshake, his word was worth even more so.
Wow.
Learned a lot about the business from him, watching him, seeing him, how he would treat customers, how he would treat vendors, the relationship that he was building, even with fellow competitors. At the end of the day, a lot of people tend to be nice with someone, but when it comes down to competition, they're not as friendly. But no, he got along with everybody. He led with respect. So, I'm very lucky that I started my career there. Somewhere along the line, we had masonry and all these other things. Millions of products.
Big outfit.
And then I fell in love with this crazy thing called hardscapes. Pavers were that specific niche that actually called my attention the most. And then I started working for Belgard, for Old Castle, as a local rep.
How did it go, kind of exiting Thompson and moving into Belgard? Was that amiable, or did they kind of steal you?
Actually, oh boy, it was great. So I needed to grow. I was ready to do the next thing in my career. My family was growing, and I love pavers much more than anything else that I had to sell. So I genuinely wanted to expand on that. So I started talking to my Belgard rep at the time. I said, hey, if ever anything opens, I would like to, take a shot. He said, look, we don't have anything right now, but if anything opens, apply, go through the process and see if you get it. So went through the process. They had an opening, posted online. I followed the link, submitted my resume, and I get the call from the recruiter, go through that. And they're like, oh, we like you a lot, but there's a problem. So, oh boy, what is the problem? I said, well, you work for one of our largest customers. So you need to talk to them. So, okay. Well, at first, I was afraid. At the end of the day, I wanted to better myself, but at the same time, I didn't want them to feel like I was betraying and leaving.
Yeah.
And, went through a few interviews, sales manager, VP of sales at the time. So I get the final call from them and say, hey, all right, we like you a lot. We want you to come in and be part of our team. I said, great, that's exciting. So when do I get my letter? He goes, well, we want you to actually talk to Mr. Thompson and say, Mr. Thompson, I am now becoming your vendor. And I was like, okay. So you want me to jump without knowing if the parachute is going to open or not? Because I didn't have an offer, right? It was an act of faith.
Wow.
And sure enough, I called the corporate office. Mr. Thompson always, he will always answer the phone. Right away, I said, Mr. Thompson, here's where I am in life. I need to grow, and I hope you understand. I gave you 8 really good years of my life. I'm not going to compete against you. I'm just coming to, become your vendor. We'll continue growing together. He gave me his blessings. He said, what do you need me to do? I said, would it be too much to ask you if you call, the VP of sales from Belgard, the one that is waiting for your blessings so they can hire me? Sure enough, within 5 minutes, he made the call. Then I get the call, said, well, now we can actually make you an offer because, we respect this customer of ours. And that's one of the things I like the most about Belgard. Mm-hmm. They have such a high regard for their customers and their business partners that, how many companies do you know, Eric, that they will just send you an offer? At the end of the day, they want to acquire whatever talent they think they can get, and they don't care who is going to be affected by that.
This is a great story.
It was great.
To really tell the story of Belgard, it's really been my experience, the collaborative nature so far with you guys. So I come from a background that's kind of similar. I worked for Par Lumber for 14 years of my life and ended up as an outside salesman for most of my career. And then one of my buddies said, hey, you should come see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence and do some construction. And I did. But so I know the importance of that vendor relationship with the supplier and how crucial it is, and that they care enough about their customers to say, hey, you're going to have to check it out with them. Yeah. It was, so what's funny, I guess, why I'm going there is I can really tell who the cream of the crop is from all my experience with the vendors for years and years, wanting me to sell their product, or, the big boys, the Boise Cascades, the Trixes, the people that really kind of understand the, not just, hey, let's sell them product, but we've got to come behind these contractors and give them support. And that's what I feel like I really received today from you guys, specifically on pavers. Went to a class this morning, actually with my previous guest, and sat through a training on installing porcelain pavers. All the different methods, all the do's, all the don'ts, all the whys, and in a half a day session where I'm able to get out and do other things. I had my son with me. He's able to go back to the job site, but you're thinking of all the elements, and then it's not just, hey, let's go out for lunch.
Yeah.
There's real value there. So talk to me about the collaboration, because all the things you're saying, I'm confirming as true. I feel cared for by Belgard as a contractor. And I also understand there's other me's out there in the valley. And so what I'm trying to do is align myself with other people that understand there's enough meat out there for everybody to eat. We can all eat. Why not raise the grade? So tell me how Belgard is maybe at the top of the food chain when it comes to pavers, paver installation, things like that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think there is enough business for everybody to go around. If the industry grows and we get better and we support each other and we just elevate, our industry, it's going to be better for everybody. Before I get to that, remember, at the end of the day, I am now with Mirage. I've been with Mirage for 8 years.
Fair.
So the similar scenario that happened with Belgard, then that's kind of like how I transitioned to Mirage.
Yeah, that's right. I forget, actually, that you're two slightly different companies.
So similar case, when I was with Belgard, I was covering Orange County. Thompson became my customer, so I went from being an employee to service them as a vendor rep. So then one day, Belgard, or at that time I was with Belgard, they bring this incredible, crazy idea of the porcelain paver.
True.
We were at a sales meeting. They showed this sample, and I just fell in love with this thing. I'm like, I want to sell everything of this product. So to the point that a year and a half into it, I realized that I was more now attracted to the porcelain pavers than the actual concrete pavers. And guess what? Had to do the same thing again. So Mirage now is selling to Belgard, who sells to Thompson. So Mirage, my former boss from Italy, Daniele, is like, well, we really want you to work with us, but remember, Belgard is our biggest customer. So I need you to go talk to them and see if we can hire you. So very similar. So now I am blessed. I could not thank both companies enough to I consider myself so blessed the fact that I was able to go from customer to vendor, Now, having a relationship with both Belgard and Thompson Building Materials and the rest of the dealers as we have grown means the world. So part of the commitment, I think that education is key. I have been very lucky to be with really good mentors and role models over my career. So getting that opportunity to give back. At the end of the day, when I started in this hardscape or building material industry, I couldn't tell the difference between a nail and a screw. Literally for me was a computer, software, Microsoft, Outlook, all the technical stuff. And, I was lucky that I see a lot. I met a lot of people, during these years that they taught me about plaster or masonry or things like that. And a little by little now, almost 20 years into this beautiful industry, I can say, hey, from all those really incredible people that were around me when I was, in my early 20s, now probably is my time to do the same thing for anybody else. So when I see a counter rep at any store, any building material yard or irrigation store, whatever that is, I can help to feel like, hey, that was me, 15 years ago. So as blessed as I was, as lucky as I was to get people say, hey, kid, come here. You need to learn about these things. Read this brochure and read this book and watch this training video. It's just our responsibility to do the same.
I love it. It shows through kind of like every fiber of your being too. I could just see the passion for you wanting to teach and educate and just connect. And I think that is part of why I'm so drawn to Belgard and Mirage is just I feel like you get it. And I feel like it's like when I started my business, I was inundated with phone calls. I'm buy my turf, buy my pavers, I'm cheap, and it was like this just this transactional thing. Yep. And I don't want to step on any toes. You guys might be the only ones that were like, hey, how's it going? Would you like to come and learn about this thing? It's so different, such a different approach.
Well, to be honest with you, it's a cultural thing. It's, it has to be a multi-layered effort at the end of the day. I mean, if you are part of a bigger organization, you have to have that embedded into your, DNA. The devotion for service and educating and growing. At the end of the day, I have said this numerous times, no manufacturer can sell anything. At the end of the day, it's the contractors, it's the home builders, it's the pool builders, it's the designers, it's the people that are working the front lines. Remember, the first phone that is going to ring is going to be yours. Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner are going to call you. Hey, I need to upgrade my backyard. My backyard. I need to redo my pool.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my number. It's not going to be the Belgard rep number that we were earlier today within the training. It's going to be you. You are the face of the industry. You and all your fellow contractors. So by us working with the real line of defense, you are that first person that received the phone call. Yeah. If you're able to take a product that was made at a factory, it could be in Arizona, it could be a factory in Italy making porcelain pavers. At the end of the day, that is product in a pallet. Doesn't do anybody any good. But if we are able to share with you and the rest of the contractor community a deep understanding of what this product could become, what this could do for the experience of that customer, that is when actually the magic happens. Because by you having those conversations, by you going to someone's backyard on a Saturday, meeting them for an appointment, you go in the backyard, it's like cracked concrete, it's dirt, and they just want a space for their family. At the end of the day, they don't care what a paver is or what concrete is or what. They just want to have an area where their children or grandchildren or friends and family can come and have some quality time. So if we are able to do that with the contractor community, and then you can take that knowledge and combine with what you know about construction, combine with what you know about project manager, then we have happy homeowners, happy customers, and then we all grow together. That's just the way that we see it.
Amen. That is one of my mottos. I kind of flip it on its head a little bit, but I think happy employees make happy customers, makes for a happy owner. So if we'll see, we'll see how this shakes out. But the level of confidence that even just from today's training that I've got to now go and sell and install porcelain pavers without question. One of the things we met we met a few months ago, and I was trying to get in your ear to get you over here, and we finally made it happen. But I had gotten a lead for a porcelain job from you guys, and it was an overlay. And I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, set our bond or set our perimeter, and then we're going to sand set the rest of it. And it's how I understood it to be the correct way. I realize there's more than one way. You can do that another way, and that's okay too. But now I have the confidence to know, yes, that's a wonderful application. That's going to work just great. We can also hard set it, or polymeric set it with products you offer as well. But it was the reason I'm going back to that is because you guys have stuck with me, and we had a conversation in person about that, about, hey, what do you think is the best way? Was I right in saying this? And then now I've got the confidence next time that comes up to go, yeah, this is the right way.
And honestly, there's no like a one fits all solution, right?
True.
In this beautiful country of the United States, there is a lot of climates. There is a lot of types of soil. There's a lot of conditions. So our goal is to try to understand to the best of our ability all these conditions. So when we present our contractors, our designers or landscape architects, hey, this could be done X or Y or C way, based on conditions, based on situations, based on the applications. Because for example, if we are looking at a commercial pool deck, it's going to be a different story than if it's a residential pool deck.
100%.
If we're looking at a driveway, it's going to be a different situation on a courtyard. Are we on a rooftop? So, our mission has to also do with finding the best practices that then we can share with the contractor community. The idea, I take a lot of classes. When I learn that there's a new cutting technology out there, there's a new blade, or there's a new drill bit, or there's a new vacuum system, I reach out to those manufacturers and those vendors, say, hey, can I learn about your product? Can you send me the installation guidelines? If I learn that, and we have an amazing team that from Mirage that covers the entire United States and Canada, the same thing. If we go through the vetting process with our engineering team in Italy and say, hey, this is actually a good method of installation, so then we educate our team. Then we work with the Belgard local teams, and then that's how we share the knowledge. That's how we share everything we learn. Just as of this week, I was talking to a manufacturer that makes this new edge restraint for porcelain. I asked him for warranty, for samples, for the installation cut sheets. I'm going to take all that information, we'll send it to the engineering team, the really smart guys in Italy, and say, guys, can you please take a look at this? Is this something that we can start working with? And we've done a lot of trials and errors. Before anything goes to market, we do like little areas at the plant or little areas at the Belgard facilities, and we put them through the test of time. Sometimes it could be there for 2 years, see how it reacts over time. Does it work? Maybe we need to tweak it a little bit. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that, Eric, if we give you a solution, we want to make sure that solution is going to help you become profitable. It's going to help you make yourself and your company look good in front of your customer. If we put out there any system or any method that is questionable or that we are not certain about it, and we have not seen how it evolves over time, when it rains, when it snows, freeze and thaw cycles, all these possible things that could damage an area, then we are doing a disservice. Yes, I did sell you a truckload of pavers today, but if you get hurt, if these affect your company and your reputation and the overall hardscape industry, it's going to hurt us in the long run. It's not about, like I said, you mentioned the word transactional story earlier today. It's not about closing a deal, getting a check from you, running to the bank. It's about making sure that we now have a relationship where you trust what we say and we do what we say that we're going to do for you.
I love that. You're echoing. It's fun because I keep, my circle keeps including people that continue to say the same things as you, and it's just awesome. Do what you say, what you're going to do. Stand behind your work. Do it correctly. These are all things that are pillars for my company, and I think a lot of the guys I'm seeing just even interact with you guys. So thank you for just being that guy as a representative on the other side of the table when it's like, hey, I need this. What do I do here? You guys are there and you're available. I love that. I want to switch gears a little bit.
Yes, sir.
The porcelain is beautiful. I think that it's kind of poised to kind of jump up in popularity, specifically around here, specifically with the guys that I'm talking to. And then after the training today, I'm like, this is not that hard, and it is so durable. I'm going to let you go a little bit on your porcelain pedestal and tell me some of the good things about it. I mean, I'll start. But one thing that blew my mind is pulled out a pocket knife today. I don't necessarily recommend everybody do this.
Probably not, but yes.
But we had a sample and we really tried to scratch it, and you could almost see maybe, but not really. You can't do that with just about anything else I can think of.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good start. The durability of the product. So want to roll the clock back a few years. Obviously, tile in general, porcelain, ceramics, however you want to call it, it's been around for decades.
Yep.
Italians really took that to heart, and they perfected the art of making tile.
They make some good stuff, darn it. I mean, they really do.
Red wine, olive oils, cars, and leather. That's kind of like
machinery.
Very strong. Yeah.
Machinery.
Yes. So our company actually were crazy enough, a little over, I think, almost 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They took the concept of taking the tile from inside of the building and putting it outside.
Mm-hmm.
I've told the story a few times during presentations and classes.
Okay.
So the idea was, okay, we know the tile or porcelain is very durable, stain resistant, scratch proof. It's going to outlast anything else you can put it.
Mm-hmm.
But for it to go outside, a couple of things needed to change. Mm-hmm. Number one, it needed to be thicker. So it could be a little stronger because it's going to be exposed to the environment, right? It's going to rain, it's going to snow, you're going to have swings in temperature from the really hot days to really cold nights, especially in desert areas, right?
Here.
So, and it also had to have a texture enough that when you put it outdoors, it's safe to walk on.
Mm-hmm.
So, funny, the first samples that we did in this concept of the landscape porcelain was a tile sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
A tile panini, if you would, where they took two tiles, they epoxied them together, they let them set, and they put them as stepping stones outdoors to see how they would do.
Okay.
And our marketing team and sales team took some of those samples and they took them to a trade show in France, a tile trade show. Mm-hmm. And they had a small setup at the Mirage booth. Remember, this is a tile show. There's hundreds of tile producers. Okay. And they set up a little area with some turf in between them and these tile stepping stones. And everybody was blown away. Dealers, distributors from all over Europe, they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. How do you guys do that? It was a tile sandwich. And obviously now you got to go back and got to re-engineer your press, the kilns and all these things. How do you create that? So we launched at that point what is not really a popular name in the United States, called Evo 2. It's an evolution of the tile into 2CM. Okay. And obviously that's how the concept started. So we taking all the benefits of a porcelain tile from the inside of your bathroom or your kitchen, just making it a little thicker, a little stronger, so you can go outside. But it's going to have all those benefits: easier to clean. It's not going to stay. Even if you put it around a salt water pool system, it's not going to corrode. It's not going to change color. You're going to replace your porcelain paver deck because maybe you want a different look.
It's elite.
But not because it faded. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change color. Mm-hmm. So the people that sell the sealers and cleaners, they don't really like us because it's like, guys, don't hate me, but you don't put sealer on porcelain paper.
We don't need that no more.
Not in this case, no.
As a general rule, and my Belgard rep would push back, but I mean, I'm almost anti-sealer. Like, I get it. I think it's part of your warranty requirements, or part of Belgard's warranty requirements. But it's just so much work over and over and over to continue sealing a product. And in Arizona, man, it's every 3 to 5 years. So that right there,
correct,
is a big. I'm all about it.
Well, to be honest with you, I used to sell sealers, back in my two previous jobs.
Yeah.
In areas like Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, we have really harsh environment, with the number of days of sunlight that we receive. So I still believe that if you have a concrete paver, should be a good maintenance program. Having sealers that will protect and enhance the look. is something. Now think about your car. I mean, you
looks
you
good.
go to a car wash and
Yeah.
you get a little,
Get it
little detail,
waxed.
get it waxed, get it nice and shiny again. You know?
I like it from especially driveways and stuff like that. I like it in I think different climates. Like I'm from Oregon. I loved sealed stuff out there because it was so much easier to clean. And it rains so much out there. I always felt like you kind of needed that, and it just seemed to last longer because it wasn't 115 baking the concrete very much.
121 sometimes.
121 sometimes. What are some of the things that people can expect out of a porcelain install in terms of longevity, and isn't there even a warranty
Yeah, well,
that's associated with it?
correct. There is obviously the product warranty that the product is made and it meets its requirements. It's not going to fade. You're not going to have a fluorescence. You're not going to have discoloration. So all those things are covered in your product warranty.
Very low permeability, like it's
Basically, no water on
Almost,
surface. Think
yeah.
about a bottle of wine that keeps the wine inside. That's basically it. No water goes through this way. No water comes back up this way. So yes, there's a very strong warranty. Not only that, but not just because of the Mirage warranty, but also because our partners in United States, Belgard,
True.
they're also very strong with customer service and commitment. So the warranty of the product is amazing. So my recommendation always, when it comes to contractors, especially if as you are learning into this, in this porcelain paver hardscape application, try to find systems that are proven to be successful. Try to maybe find systems that they have a system warranty, for example. There are great companies out there that they have, for example, motor application for hardscapes that they will give the homeowner a 15, 25-year warranty. What that means is that you as a contractor, when you talk to your homeowner and you say, look, we're going to make this investment, you're going to use this product, we're going to install it this way, besides the warranty that I'm giving you as your installer for X number of years, besides the lifetime warranty that Belgard is going to give you for this product, there's also an overall system warranty that comes into play. So the idea of protecting the customer investment, at the end of the day, we have to be responsible. Families are
I like that.
investing a lot of money. Savings could be that they refinance their home, could be that they took on a loan, maybe a credit card loan.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're not buying our porcelain pavers. They're not buying the Belgard pavers. What they're buying is a pool deck, a courtyard, or a backyard where they can have the family time and experience what they want to be outdoors, right?
They're purchasing those experiences.
So that's what they're getting. So what is the best thing you can do for them? First of all, do it with integrity, choosing the right products, the right application. And if you can say, by the way, Mr. and Mrs., here is a very good warranty because we did this product installation with this method, that is going to be, I think, if I am putting X amount of dollars in my backyard, I would love to have a warranty. It's like when you buy a car, right? You go in and buy a car, you're going to pay for that for a number of years. You want to make sure you have a good, warranty behind it, right?
I love that. Man, you're nailing it, by the way. Like, this is spot on. It's almost like you've done this before. No, so tell me a little bit about trends and what maybe, do you have some favorite? Oh, I had a question today that I didn't get answered.
Yeah.
And I forgot to push back. Do you happen to know, not to put you on the spot, I'm so sorry, but
I'm already on the spot, my friend.
I know you are. Okay. Do you know we've got a job where we're going to have an elevated barbecue seating area, media wall, and we're going to have an overhang and put some ledge lights under it. Do you know what that overhang can be by chance?
Well, normally, I'm not going to lie, the bottom of a porcelain paver is not pretty.
Nobody will see it.
But if nobody sees it, you can have 2-3 inches of
I might even do bullnose. So that's my question. I probably will. Actually, I will do bullnose. Yeah. I'll do bullnose around there. So I can get an inch, 2 inches.
Oh, yeah. You can get 3 to 4.
Okay, cool.
If nobody sees it, you can be at 4 inches. That's fine. It's just it's not a pretty backside.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
Totally hear you. Yep.
So yeah, you can absolutely put the under counter lighting and make it look very pretty. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we've got some steps going up. So trends or things you like or places you'd maybe like to see it or ideas. Help me kind of brainstorm about stuff you've seen that maybe installed that you really like certain patterns or anything new you've got.
Well, I think overall for us as manufacturers, I said this through my Instagram and my LinkedIn many times. We are so lucky that our product is chosen for some amazing project. I don't think a product makes a project. I think the project could enhance the product. So we are very lucky to witness some amazing landscape architects, designers, and pool designers across the United States And some of the trends that we're seeing is we're not focusing on surfaces anymore. I see more now where we're focusing on the experience.
Okay.
Where we see these outdoor living spaces, right?
Sure.
We're not talking about, oh, I need a patio. No, the homeowner is hiring you and therefore us to get an outdoor space where they can have, for example, a fire pit or a fireplace or a barbecue island. Outdoor kitchen now. I mean, it's not even a barbecue anymore. Now it's an outdoor kitchen. They have kitchen sinks. They have
just talking
refrigerators,
about that, yeah.
kegerators, wine coolers. I mean, you name it, it's gonna be out there. You have an amazing pergola that opens and closes. You have lighting, you know, misters, especially here in Arizona, as hot as it gets.
You need them.
So my message to the contractor community is don't think of a porcelain paver as the final end. The idea is you can take colors and textures, you can try to recreate looks that will enhance an outdoor space. Whether that means coordinating it with concrete pavers, you can have brick. Some of the most beautiful projects that we have witnessed over the years that have won landscape design awards or industry awards are actually porcelain incorporated with brick or stone
I
or
just saw some
boulders
today,
or
actually.
pebbles.
Yeah.
You know, the idea is give the best experience to the people who is hiring us. And, I would say it's not about how many square feet of porcelain pavers you're putting in your patio, it's how well you're utilizing it. It could be a 10,000 square feet pool deck, or it could be 100 square feet outdoor space that has everything that a homeowner needs. Because when they have their friends and family that come and visit, and they are interacting and they're actually enjoying that outdoor space,
Yeah.
that it grows the business. Hey, who did that?
Yeah.
I would like that in my house. I have just ugly dirt and maybe cracked stamped concrete from the 1970s. And then your phone is going to ring again, and then you're going to call your Belgard rep and your Mirage rep again.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's how we see it.
I love it. Do you see any other products coming online? Like, I've always been curious about like a one-piece pool coping, or maybe like, do you guys think you might get into like large format countertops or anything? Not on the spot. If you don't know, that's fine.
Well,
like, are you guys always kind of like pushing the envelope, or are you like, dude, we're good, this is what we're doing?
There's some stuff that I can share, some stuff that I'm not able to share.
Okay.
I
Don't
could
get in
say
trouble.
that at Mirage, we are extremely committed. This is not a book that was written. The Porcelain Paver or the Porcelain Hardscape is not a book that was written and put in a bookshelf. This is a constant evolving concept. So yes, with what I can share, there is a lot of R&D that is happening, a collaboration between Mirage and Belgard, where we are trying to find ways to help the contractors to be able to be more efficient and more effective. Yes, there's some conversation about countertops and things like that can be used for those outdoor kitchens. And now they have so many different appliances and all these beautiful things for people to enjoy outdoors. So I want you to think about this. We are working day and night and to try to get better products that we can put in your portfolio. So when you are designing your projects and when you're installing, you have all these different tools in your belt, right?
Love that.
So yes, it's think about a live stream. It's not a book that is on the bookshelf. We are also working around the clock to try to get you more exciting things.
Constantly growing and turning and stuff. What install wise, what are some things that maybe anybody watching this, like baseline, this is one thing you've got to do, or maybe the biggest, most common maybe misconception or error that you see out in the field? You're in the field a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I like to visit projects. I like to visit job sites. I always ask the contractors, I said, get in touch with your Belgard rep, get in touch with your Mirage rep before the installation. We'll be happy to, hey, if we can do it via FaceTime, we can have a virtual meeting, go over everything with you. I mean, obviously, if we have enough time, we cover large areas.
Yeah.
We would like to come in and have a pre-construction meeting with you, make sure the samples are there, make sure that you order the right products. We actually work closely with what we call technical partners, whether it's a motor company that will sell you the things that are on the ground. companies that make you the blades and the core or the core bits that you're going to use to fabricate porcelain, vacuum lifters so you don't have to lift it, with your bare hands. All these things that we're out in the market learning, so we can make them available to our contractor community. As far as the biggest misconceptions is that a lot of people is scared. I tell paver contractors anywhere in the United States, in English or Spanish, I say, guys, you're doing a great job with concrete.
Okay.
Let me show you how this is slightly different than what you're currently doing. And once you start talking to them and you show them the videos and the photos of fellow contractors in other areas that they are learning, or if we have a class, maybe someone say, yo, I've been doing this for a while. I've done X number of projects and it's really not that hard. So lose your fear. If you see value in this and want to try it, reach out. We'll be happy to come in. We'll invite you to a class. You take those ideas, you discuss with your crew, you figure out with your team, hey, this is actually not hard.
I will amen that statement 100% after today. I'm like, oh, this is what I was nervous about. Because I think many of the places that I've worked here in the Valley, porcelain wasn't a big, it wasn't that common, honestly. And I've worked at a few. And so you nail it. Everybody's just kind of like, oh, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, why? Because we just don't do that. And it's not hard at all. You just have to do it a little bit different.
And honestly, the question that we actually ask the contractor or the builder or the pole builder is like, hey, look at this product, look at these colors, finishes. Do you like them? If the answer is no, because maybe no, not going to be for everybody, right? If they say, no, you know what, I'm not interested. I'm doing good with my brick, my stone, my flagstone, my slate. I'm okay with my travertine pavers. Then that's okay. No problem. No big deal. But if I say to you, hey, do you like this product? Would you like to incorporate this into your designs? And you said, you know what? It's intriguing. I would like to learn more about it. So we have a lot of tools, a lot of educational material that we can put in your hands, where you can share with your crew in your construction meeting, your weekly meetings with your staff, and say, guys, this is new concept. Like you said, it's newer in the Arizona market. Talk about it with your project manager, with construction crew. Say, hey, you know what? We do a lot of that already. We're excavating, we're putting road base, we're putting sand, we're using Portland Merrick sand, we're pouring, all these things. Maybe you have some people in your crew that already know how to do tile. Maybe they were tile setters before. I mean, this is just bigger tile, thicker tile, but at the end of the day, it's a tile.
It's so similar, and it's so not something to be scared of. So I would encourage anybody watching to just, get a hold of a Mirage rep, a Belgard rep, local vendor, local supplier. Go talk to them. It's not insanely challenging. You got to do it a specific way for specific reasons, but that said, it's not the end of the day. What's maybe something you have seen that's like, okay, guys, we got to stop doing this? Is there anything that's installing over a quarter minus or anything like that that's happening that maybe we shouldn't be doing?
I think my biggest flag to any contractor across the entire North American market is, let's make sure that we understand drainage and soil movement, right? If we are, for example, an area where it snows and freezes and thaws, that's a different condition than if you're in Vegas.
Yep.
We have a lot of contractors that have gone, from California to Texas, or from California to Colorado, or maybe Vegas, they moved to Utah, or whatever the situation is. My biggest encouragement is not just with porcelain pavers, but in general with any hardscape or masonry product, is understand what your environment is going to do for you. What type of adversities you have to overcome. How is that soil going to expand? If you understand how the environment is going to treat your areas, then you can understand how to prevent them. For example, if we are in Florida, you want to have a lot of drainage because it's going to rain a lot. And if you don't move that water away, it's going to sit on your deck, right? If we are in Arizona, we have a lot of sandy, rocky soils. If we are, for example, in areas like in Oregon, where you come from, there's a lot of trees, so therefore the soils are very organic. So maybe your foundation needs to be a little deeper.
Yeah.
If you are in an area close to the beach, maybe there's a water table. So all those things, I say, regardless of what you're installing, a contractor should not see things as, black and white. It has to be gray. It has to be, let's figure out this project. Let's understand what area Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be snowing? What are we doing? So then you can choose the best method of installation for whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Is it an open aggregate system in the mountains? Is it a trash bed system where it snows and rains a lot? Are you going to be on a building that you're going to put a rooftop and there's going to be high winds and now you're going to have to lock it down so it doesn't fly away like a frisbee?
I forget that, we're in Arizona and we're in a little studio, but I forget anybody might pick this up and watch it anywhere.
Yeah.
So good on you for kind of like expanding the conversation a little bit to reality. And I think just to summarize what you said is know where you're at, know your role, know how to get it done in your area. I was even a little surprised recently that we went in for permits and then I had to go through a floodplain review out here.
Okay.
So I got caught off guard.
I'm learning something new
by
about
the
it.
way, guys, if you're watching this, so my customers weren't happy because they're like, well, you're a contractor. I'm like, I'm sorry. We're in Arizona. I didn't think we had a floodplain.
Well,
But we do. So
this is news to me.
so word to the wise, but some of these things, we were talking in my last podcast, sometimes the best way and the way that you're going to learn it's going to stick is the hard way.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, I feel like we're wired that way as humans. What advice do you have for anybody that's watching this and they are maybe not sure how to choose a contractor or not sure how to even start selecting materials? Speak to that a little bit.
Look, in today's day and age, unfortunately, there's a lot of smoking mirrors out there.
Sure.
There's a lot of beautiful finished pictures without understanding their life. If I am a homeowner, which I am for anything else that is not a paver, right? Roof or whatever else, I need to hire somebody. So if you are looking for someone to transform your outdoor living space and create this beautiful, you're going to invest a lot of money into that project or driveway or whatever you have. Do a little bit of research. Hey, go on Google, check reviews, check Yelp. But most importantly, when you're sitting in front of a contractor, ask him for progress photos of projects that are currently working on. We see a lot of times that, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that they will go and download images from other installers in other areas, and they use them. And I hate to admit this, but I've been to a lot of projects where the homeowners invest a lot of money and they didn't hire a skilled contractor. There's a lot of times where they hire someone who's not a hardscaper. Maybe they hire someone whose specialty maybe it's a pool cleaning, or it could be the tree services, and they end up trying to do the hardscape. And it is extremely painful when I have to look at a homeowner to their face and say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, they didn't do this correctly. I don't see any grout. I don't see the things that was not done correctly. I'm not my job, I'm not a CSI engineer, but you can clearly see where they cut the corners
When they go like this.
and then you see the movement and you see the shifting, and it's really painful. That is the worst call that I can ever get when somebody says, hey, I don't think this is right, and they're absolutely correct. It's not right. So try to find out those jobs, maybe get some references. Hey, if you're a contractor who you're proud of your work and you are out there with me, I say, hey, do you mind if I get a reference from one of your customers? Can I maybe go see their house, or maybe you share an email from them or a text message, just to know. At the end of the day, if I'm going and putting my lifetime savings into my retirement home and I want this backyard to last for my children, I want to make sure it's done right.
So I heard Google. I heard real references.
Yep.
I like progress photos.
Photos are the best.
That's something my social media team can help me with even more. But I think that's really key, actually. Trace Walters, one of the guys I think you guys know too, was on and literally was like, hire your contractor from Instagram. Because if they're posting on their story
real
all
story,
the time of what they're really doing, that's a great tell. It was funny because I had a guy that wanted to work for me, and I'm just not in a spot to hire, but he just had this whim, and he's like, I want to get out of IT and into hardscaping, young guy, and so he looked,
sounds familiar.
He looked like, he said best guy in Scottsdale, and my name popped up on Google, for whatever reason. He typed it in because I got some good SEO. And then I came up, and so he's like, I went to your website and I read your about us. I'm like, anybody can fake that. So I went to your Instagram. I'm like, anybody can fake that. And then I went on your podcast, and I was like, he's really real. I want to go work for this guy. So it's fun to hear you kind of reaffirm what Trace was saying and what I've kind of, randomly experienced is like, if you put it out there, if you try to really show people, look, I'm doing the things,
Yes.
it'll come back.
It does. And there's a lot more work. Like, you can
So much more work.
you can invest a lot of hours, and I don't need to tell you because obviously you're doing it yourself. And there's a lot of contractors out there across the entire United States. They're doing a good job educating the community. I am a big fan of HGTV, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing.
My buddy was just on there.
It's help expand homeowners' horizons as far as not just exterior, outdoor, but also interior, kitchens and bathrooms. Like it's, I love the show.
I love the concept, too.
I love the concept. Obviously, if you're watching a 30-minute show, you're gonna see a lot of before and after, but nothing what happens in the middle, right? Where
How
in
the sausage
social
is made.
media, if the contractor is doing doing it the right way, you're gonna see the struggle. You're gonna see the excavation. You're going to see the concrete being poured. You're going to see that there's a lot of hard work. I cannot thank enough on behalf of Mirage and anybody in the industry. I think the people in sales or the people in on the other side, we are very lucky. We're blessed, especially in areas like Arizona, where it gets so hot, and then we have an incredible community of installers that are the ones pushing the wheelbarrow, digging the trenches with the shovel. They're putting in thousands of pounds of dirt out of the house. Now road base goes in, now pavers go in. And I always encourage the Mirage sales team, say, guys, if you ever go to a job site, thank the people that are doing the work. They are the ones that, we always look at the fruit on our plate in front of us, but we need to think about the people that actually pick the fruit from the fields.
I love it.
So, if you're proud of what you're doing, show it. Show social media. Show the world, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever your outlet is. Show your homeowners, potential clients at some point, that the work that you're putting in, it actually is meaningful. That is not that you're going to ask for $100,000 check because you want to charge $100,000. Now you're showing them, and they can follow your reels and your stories and say, look, I gave you a bid. I encourage you to follow my Instagram page. This is my page. You can see we're working 3 projects right now. You can see the hard work that this crew is putting in, and how we're going to turn a beautiful 3D rendering that came out of a computer, and we're going to turn that into an actual dreamscape backyard for a family. And they will understand, hey, man, this is heavy stuff. It's not like when HGTV is beautiful, right? You look at, all right, the homeowners go, maybe they go on vacation, they go on a commercial break, they come back, oh my God, the house is finished. We're done.
It took them
Looks
a week.
fantastic.
That ruined it for remodeling for me in Oregon, because it was like people, you just give them a bath bid, and maybe, I don't know, the bid is like 10, 15 grand, and they're like, I just watched, so-and-so, Harry homeowner on HGTV. Well, they would quote prices, and I was like, where are these prices? It was like $5,000 for a full bathroom. That's not happening. That was my big push. Sorry, that was my big pushback.
But it's true. It is true. Look, it's
so much
opening
work.
the eyes, but also there could be some misconceptions behind it, of course.
For sure. It's so, like, being on the other side of it and seeing that, like, I'm mindful of my money as a business owner, and it's still tight at the fair rate that I'm charging. Like, it just takes a lot of labor to do things correctly. Yes, I could get your job done 2 days quicker and save on the labor, but we're going to cut some corners.
Yeah.
I think that's the bottom line. Antonio, in closing, I think we're getting close to that mark. I want to know where you see yourself in 5 years. Are you, because so far I'm almost seeing a pattern here. Are you going to be doing anything maybe different within Mirage, or do you like exactly what you're doing?
Ooh, now you're cutting deep, my friend.
Clearly you like what you're doing, or you wouldn't be doing it. I trust that much about you. But do you have maybe a goal or a vision that's outside? Maybe outside of work, so you don't get in trouble.
Well, no. We're gonna get to all of them. I consider myself a passenger of this crazy train that is called life.
Okay.
We all have a passport. You get your stamp as a son, as a brother, as a friend, as a dad, as a as a brother, sister, whatever that is. Then you start getting the second page, which is like, I am a salesperson, I am a professional in X or Y industry. Then if you do things in a certain way and you have that in you, then you want to lead a team. You want to give another person or another group of people things that they gave you, right? Like I said earlier today.
Give back.
So we're putting those stamps in the passport, right? We continue on this beautiful train that we call life. And I have always been very honest with our leadership, my director and our CEO. And I always say, look, guys, I am in this one day at a time. It is something I love, something that I thoroughly enjoy, working with the Mirage team, working with our dealers, our importers, contractors, designers. Like, there is close to 5,000 phone numbers in my phone of people that I've met through the years. And if we continue working together, it's a blessing. But at the same time, you always have to have the desire, have the fire, because I only have either 100% or no percent. So if I'm not 100%, it's not going to do good for Mirage. It's not going to do good for Belgard. It's not going to do any good for you. So the plan is to continue doing what we're doing because we love it. Reinventing myself every time.
Okay.
Continue committed to learning.
Okay.
The day that I stop learning, I think is probably the day that I need to walk away. One thing, I've been extremely vocal about it, and I will never go and work for any competitor of where I started or where I ever worked for. If I ever did something that I love, I will never be able to go back and ask the customers, oh, remember I used to tell you this was the best product in the world?
Sure.
Well, let me tell you what. Now it's this one because now I work for them and now they pay me. So that's not the case. Continue. If Mirage believes in me, if my team believes in me, if my family still believes in that traveling and, not being home X number of days, I am looking forward what the next 5 years look like. At the same time, we want to grow the Mirage team. We want to keep on pushing up, having more reps, more teams, maybe. Whatever that looks like, I just want to make sure that, it's coming from the heart. It's not a salary thing. It's not a paycheck thing. It's not about chasing the next, right object. It's about being committed. And right now, we're all in, full steam ahead, 100%.
Man, that was passionate. You're a passionate guy. I absolutely loved this. This was really fun and humbling too. So thank you so much for coming out and just spilling the truth, man. This was great.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you again. Being here with you is an incredible opportunity. I would tell you that I'm not a big fan, like I said before, of being in front of the camera or behind a microphone. But when you invited me, when we were at this architectural mixer back at the Hyatt, when we had all these incredible people outdoor, just celebrating the industry in general. And it was an invitation that, even though I knew that I was not too comfortable with this setting, I knew that it was coming from the right place. And then I dug a little bit deeper into what you're doing. And I genuinely want to say thank you for doing this. Unfortunately, nowadays, there's a lot of people that are only focused on bottom lines and how much money they're putting in the bank account. And the fact that you are taking your time, investing your resources, and dedicating effort into having an outlet where people can share stories and hopefully inspire other people to grow or to do better, or things, see things from a different perspective. Actually, it's the other way around, my friend. I want to say thank you for doing this. Thank you for having me here. And carry on. Keep on doing it. Keep on putting on this side of the table people that can share. And hopefully more people get inspired to do better, to learn, to grow. And thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Man, I'm speechless.